Turns out I have hypothyroidism. That's so hard to say for me. I don't know why. So people who have that, that is a leading cause of weight gain. Like I've constantly been like, it's hard for me to lose weight because of my lymphedema, my going through menopause at such an early age, the hysterectomy, like the list can just go on. And now, bam, smack in the face. I have the very thing that causes people to gain weight.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. We are back with our co-host Amberlynn Reed. We have a couple things to talk about. So the last time that we talked about Amberlynn Reed was this video right here, which was only about 8 days ago. So we were talking about Amberlynn is destroying her health with each bite. And so in this video, she ended up going to the hospital because she had a little bit of a health scare. As far as what ended up happening there, she found out, the biggest thing was that she found out that she had elevated D-dimer, which for her meant that there might be some sort of blood clot that could be happening, and that is really scary for her. And so, but since then, there has been quite a few videos that have been uploaded. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we're going to be going in detail about this most recent video that was uploaded about 2 hours ago from me recording this, diabetes results and unexpected, unfortunate diagnosis. We will definitely be getting into that. But some of the other things that are interesting is, there's just been a couple things, she's talking about Beck here, which is a previous relationship she was in, and then, healthy options while ordering takeout. Again, her kind of just patting herself on the back, eating maybe not the worst food in the world. It is what it is, right? She was prescribed a new medication, which I think was at that point, she was prescribed something for her inflammation. And then this video was quite hilarious. The health updates / results going back to the hospital, and Keemstar's mad at me. I think the funniest thing about that video was that Amberlynn, she spent all day in the ER, worried about her health, and then immediately, literally, her and her mom leave the ER and go straight to Denny's, which was just, is the most Amberlynn Reed coded thing on the planet. And so there's basically, the reason that I'm going over this is there's been a lot of health issues recently. There have been a lot of problems, and for Amberlynn Reed, one thing that she is always she's very proud of is the fact that she is the size that she is, and she doesn't have that many health issues, and she wants to lose weight because she knows that her weight is going to cause a lot of health issues, right? And so that's something that she talks a lot about. And we're at a point now where Amberlynn is getting older. She is in her 30s. No shade, I'm 32, but these things are going to start cropping up a lot more, and I think she's realizing that, and she says she is trying to make this a very important part of her life, and it seems that in the videos that we've been watching and the things that we've talked about, that doesn't really, like, the things that she says don't match the things that she does, right? Which, if you've been someone that's been following Amberlynn Reed for a long time, that's kind of how things go, respectfully, of course. But we are going to be, hey guys, like I said, talking about this video right here, where this is like a kind of, basically, these are her weigh-in videos, which basically just turn into Q&A type videos. It's actually funny. So this is completely random, but you guys can see here on the right, it says, "My 700-pound life, Trader Joe's haul." That is a creator named Sal, who I've actually become friends with him. We've been friends on Instagram for quite a while now, at this point, a few months. But if you are looking for someone that is losing weight and, is a bigger person, check Sal out. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Maybe I can do a video with him at some point. Really, really sweet dude, who is really trying his best. Okay, sorry, that was completely random. But we are going to be talking about this video. And so it ends up basically her Q&As, her weigh-ins, basically just kind of Q&A videos, which honestly a lot of her videos are just kind of Q&A videos at this point. And so let's just, let's let our co-host take it away. I will stop yapping.
New weigh-in video. I feel like I kind of have a lot of things to talk about, so let's jump right into the 5 questions. So for the 5 questions, I get them on Instagram. I post a little thing on my story that says, ask me any questions that are weight, food, health related, and then I gather them, and I even have a list of like,
I mean, honestly, like, just watching this and seeing the way that she is acting right now, this just seems like someone that's over it. that just doesn't, she doesn't want, it doesn't seem like she wants to make this video, right? It feels like a forced, like, I have to make this video because I told people that I would be making these videos, right?
Backup questions. Why were you so proud of yourself for not weighing in daily? So food isn't the only relationship that I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to also work on the relationship with my vaping. That's why I've quit that, even though I have highly relied on it. And I'm working on my relationship with the scale because I can become extremely obsessed with it. Like there are times where I will
I mean, I definitely think that's a good thing to work on, the relationship with vaping. I've never heard anyone call it that. I think it's a good idea to not vape, you know, for her, especially at the size that she is. I can understand, you know, maybe wanting a little bit of that like buzz. I think there's, I don't know, I'm not encouraging this, but there's other ways to get that feeling without like vaping or inhaling anything. You know, there's things that you could eat. Little tiny, you know, gummies and whatnot, if that's something you really want to do. But I think that if you're someone that is trying to lose weight and you're feeling like that, you know, those little gummies and the little things kind of end up making you eat a little bit more food, maybe it's a good idea to kind of put that to the side for a little bit, right?
literally weigh myself multiple times a day. And this is extremely unhealthy because I will see a normal fluctuation that happens to everybody, and I will take that fluctuation and it'll trigger me and spiral me, and sometimes it'll cause me to overeat or emotional eat, but regardless, it's just not healthy. It doesn't make sense, but it is something that can be fixed, so I'm trying to fix it. So
honestly, I think this is fine. I don't have a problem with this. I think if weighing yourself daily is something that you really struggle with, I find no problem with this. I think the issue is when you try and stick your head in the sand and act like that's not a number that matters. That's when it becomes a problem, right? Or when it can become a problem. But I think that if it's something that you really struggle with, there's nothing wrong with not weighing yourself daily. And so I don't really think that this is a huge deal at all.
the fact that I was able to go a whole week without weighing myself is crazy. Have you noticed your face also swells when you are swollen? Yes. And my mom also experiences it. So it might be like common or like genetic. Like literally in my last vlog, my last weekly vlog that I posted, I noticed it, and I'll show you guys a clip where it's like the beginning of my vlog, I am so swollen. And then towards the ending, you can like literally see how much I've deswelled. So that's why when I see people are like, oh my God, it's so like noticeable that Amberlynn has gained weight. It's like, you know, yeah, but also a lot of the times like you're seeing me really swollen. So sometimes it's a lot more obvious, like in my chin or around my eyes or my cheeks, or sometimes it's just my legs, my arms. But this was the beginning of my vlog. And then here I was at the end, where you can tell that the swelling has definitely gone down. So sometimes I do look bigger. Sometimes I do look smaller, and that's just the way it goes with the things that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
So I think that that's fine, right? Swelling is something that happens to everyone, really, to a certain extent. You know, I mean, it's not something that she obviously deals with it more than other people. She talks about it quite a bit. But I think another thing that's important is to address the reason that the swelling is happening. I think a lot of that is, there is no way that you can argue with me that the foods, Amberlynn, that you are eating consistently, going out to eat, those foods are so high in sodium. And I'm not the person that's like anti-sodium. I eat a lot of sodium. I don't have a problem with it. But the amount that you are eating, right? And you're not someone that's sweating your sodium out. You're not, running and going to the gym and doing all this stuff, right? That's not happening. And so the swelling is going to happen. So there are things that you can do to address it. It just feels like that's not really something that you're trying to do, right?
Is it true that you would stay this size if it was healthy? So in one of my last live streams, I talked about the fact that like, if it wasn't for the fact that being this size was unhealthy, I wouldn't feel like this urgency or this anxiety or constantly talk about weight loss. I wouldn't care so much to lose weight. And what I mean by that is I'm not doing it for vanity reasons. I'm not doing it for shallow reasons. I'm not doing it for my looks. I am doing it for my health. That is why I've always been very much about body positivity, in the sense of everyone is beautiful regardless of what they look like or the size that they are. But I do not believe in health at every size, and I never have. But yes, if I could be healthy, if being fat was not an unhealthy thing, that I wouldn't care. Because again, this is not for vanity reasons. I'm not fat phobic. I don't think that fat people are ugly, nothing like that. It's strictly because I want to be healthy, I want to feel better, and I want to live a longer life.
So, you know, there are parts of that I understand. You know, I can understand being like, you know what, I don't want to only lose weight because I just want to, you know, look better, right? I think that I want to feel better. That's all fair. That's fine. I can see where she's coming from with that. But I think that it's like, you know, Amberlynn, the size that you are, it's not just, I don't feel like that's the thing that you should only be worried about, right? It's like, obviously the health is the most important thing, of course. But like, I feel like there are so many things, Amberlynn, that you don't even realize that you're not able to do. And there are so many experiences and just things going on that you just can't experience at the size that you're at, right? Like you can't go on a nice long walk outside, right? And you can't, like, there are so many other little things that you are missing out on being the size that you are. And I think that, you know, it is okay to want to lose weight to experience those things, you know, and like, if you want to do it for your health, okay. But I mean, even if you want to do it because you're like, hey, I just, you know, I don't want to be this size. I think there's, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I mean, I kind of understand where she's coming from to an extent there.
Do you mean you'd feel lethargic eating French fries? So what I meant by that is like, I'd feel...
What? It's just, this is such a random question to answer in the 5 questions you do about, like, it's so strange. I don't know. Like, shout out, I love French fries, but it's so random.
Sluggish. It's just like a sluggish feeling. Nobody feels good after eating junky types of food. I know I feel way better, way lighter after I eat a healthier meal versus...
Brother, okay. Just, okay.
Versus an unhealthy meal. But being lethargic and tired, those things can happen at the same time, but they are 2 different things. Because a lot of people are like, girl, you just said that you don't get tired after food, but now you're saying that you get lethargic. Yeah, 2 different things. So this one...
Okay, that is the most semantic, like, come on, dude. I don't get tired. I get lethargic, you guys. It's different, bro. Okay. I guess, like, if that's what you decide, but it is what it is.
The most popular question I received this week is, why'd you go to Denny's after the hospital? My mom was hungry, and I'm not gonna lie, so was I. It was past midnight, and we were at the hospital for hours. Neither of us ate anything that day. I was not expecting to be at the hospital that long, and neither was my mom. I didn't go to the hospital for some, like, crazy critical thing. I was directed by my doctor's office to go to urgent care, and then urgent care directed me to go to the ER because urgent care actually does not do ultrasounds. And then I ended up calling the emergency room just to see, like, if I can come in, and they told me I should probably get that looked at. So I went there for an ultrasound. I didn't go there for like anything critical or crazy. Like, people still have to eat. My mom said she was not going to go home and like cook something. I didn't want to come home and cook something. It was really late. I was exhausted. I know she was as well. Like, eating is still a thing that happens regardless if someone goes to a hospital or not. And I got a salad at Denny's. So next part is I want to...
Okay, so I got a salad at Denny's. So that's great. So all of that, again, that's fair. It's true. But again, it's like, brother, you just spent like a whole video talking about how you're scared and you are terrified about these blood clots and all of these things that are going on, right? And then the next clip is you going to Denny's and ordering food. And again, the thing that I think is important here to always remember is that Amberlynn is the filmer, editor, you know, content creator. She is she does everything here. Okay, so she has the choice to be like, maybe I shouldn't show myself getting Denny's immediately after having a hospital scare that was most likely very much related to the size of my body and my weight, right? But she decided to put that in because she knew, this is my opinion, she knows that people are going to have something to say about that. She knows that that's going to cause drama. This is the issue with Amberlynn is that she understands, I believe, that drama and all of the stuff swirling about her generates attention for her. And so she leans into that because she likes to be a troll. She's talked about this many times, right? But then she leans into it, and I think there's a lot of times where she maybe regrets it to an extent, and then she ends up getting really tired of it, and then she gets mad at people, but then she gets bored, and then she leans into it again. And I think that that's exactly kind of the stuff that happened here, right? It's like she was getting bored, so she leaned into it. I'm gonna get Denny's right after, and it's just like, you know, that's just a theory there. But I think also with Amberlynn, like, and I've talked about this with her mom, it's great that she's reconnecting. They clearly had a very rough relationship, but like there comes a point where like the people in your life that are close to you, you know, we just talked about this in the Jaclyn Hill video that I did, right? Like they have to call you out, right? Like anyone, you know, anyone that's watched My 600-Pound Life and, you know, seen Dr. Now, he talks all about, it's always, almost always, I think every single time actually, maybe not every time, but 95% of the time, there's an enabler, right? And Amberlynn needs someone in her life that will call her and be like, and I think like, again, her mom seems nice, but at some point you can't, like, just being nice isn't enough, right? We need someone to be like, no, we're not going to get Denny's. We need to get real food. Like this is, you're going to lose your daughter. You know what I mean? Like, okay, sorry. Let's just continue here.
Talk about how my week went. So I've been going through a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, depression, some very low lows. I have shared a very small fraction of it, but majority of it is happening behind the scenes. I'm absolutely, without a doubt, suffering in silence. So I did have my doctor appointment.
You are, okay. Suffering in silence, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Maybe.
Yesterday, because I was able to respond to the wait list really quickly. When they sent me the text message, I accepted a new appointment. So this next part of this video I will be talking about in my weekly vlog as well, because my weigh-in videos don't get as many views as my other videos, and I want majority of people.
The reason is because, and it's so bizarre, because like you would think that these videos would do the best because she's talking about her weight, but they've turned into this. It's just a few random questions that a lot of times have nothing to do with anything that people are like, what are, like, and then there's the weight at the end, and that's it. You know, these videos are just like, it's just like, what's the point? You know, you're just doing Q&As in almost every video that you're doing anyways.
People who watch me to hear this, because this is like a big change in my life that's about to happen. So I will be also talking about this in my weekly vlog. So the first thing I want to talk about is Zepbound. That is the GLP-1 that I was going to go on, which is the weight loss injection. And my doctor prescribed it to me. And based on all of the research I've done, I was like, okay, yes, it is very expensive, but it is doable. So I get to the pharmacy, and turns out that is not the case at all. The pharmacy told me that the prices have raised, and it's like, okay, in my head I was like, all right, so the first month is just the beginning dose, which is obviously the cheapest month, but my doctor told me that the beginning dose is not going to do anything for me. So when I increase the Zepbound, it's going to increase the price, and I don't have that money. That's okay. I am currently working on my relationship with food, and instead of doing it alone, I'm going to let professionals help me. My doctor did confirm, like, your hysterectomy makes it a lot harder to lose weight. And that was before I did my fasting labs, where I got results for something that literally, it makes me really emotional. It makes me want to cry, but I'm not going to.
So again, I understand being frustrated about the GLP-1 being more expensive than maybe you thought. But again, this should be, in my opinion, the most important thing that you can do for yourself, right? The weight loss. Like, this needs to be the thing that we are focused on. And if it's a little bit more expensive than you thought, again, it's like, I wish they were cheaper for sure, but like, let's not do a Torrid haul every single week. Let's not do an Amazon haul every single week. Let's not do new Legos every single week. Let's save some of that money and spend it on hopefully on our future, the future that we want, right? That should be the focus, right? And so it's like, yes, maybe you have to make some sacrifices here for that, but imagine the life that you would live if you lost 200, 300 pounds, man. Like, imagine how much more mobile you'll be, how much more things you'll be able to experience, right? That should be the focus. And, you know, obviously we're going to get into this new diagnosis, which, you know, it sucks, but I think that we should see this new diagnosis as like, maybe it's a silver lining. Let's see it as a positive. Okay, there's a new thing that I can I mean, I know a lot of people are saying just blame everything on, but let's try and be positive. It's a new thing that we didn't know about that we can address, and maybe it'll make things easier for you, right? Like, let's try and be positive here and, really be like, okay, we got some, there's new information that we can use to our benefit, right?
And we will get into that in a second. So on top of like my hysterectomy, my lymphedema, my lipedema, and my messed up metabolism, it just seems like nothing wants me to lose weight. I have so many things just like literally fighting against me, but I'm not going.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff fighting against you, but from what we've seen in a lot of the videos you've posted, it doesn't seem like you are fighting for yourself. You know what I mean? You're like, dang, all these things are fighting against me. I'm gonna lay down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be like, all right, let's freaking put the gloves on. Let's freaking try and get some jabs in, let's try and do something for ourselves.
To give up. So while I was at my doctor's appointment, they ask you like this depression screening. They ask you all these like mental health questions, and mine was not good. I ended up literally breaking down in front of my doctor and in front of my mom. I'm like bawling my eyes out. They're handing me tissue. Like, I had a full-fledged like anxiety attack right in front of him. It was really embarrassing, but it genuinely shows like the level of my mental health. Like, even someone just asking me like in my live stream like a week ago, they were like, how are you doing? Like, it made me break down. I'm feeling everything so strongly and so deeply. My emotions are all over the place and I feel really low, and just a lot of mental health problems that I do not want to speak out loud. I just have constant, deep, painful emotions that I experience all day long, and it's genuinely ruining my life. Long story short, I was prescribed an SSRI to help with my anxiety, my lows, my depression, and to help with like the deep feelings of having BPD. It's not going to help regulate my emotions or anything like that. Like, I have to work on that myself, but it's going to help stabilize me a little bit. So we did my fasting labs and I got those results today. A doctor actually sent me a whole message kind of going over my results and talking about like the abnormal results and what it could mean, etc., etc. And regarding if I have diabetes or not, I want to show you this clip. All right, you guys.
This is so funny to me, dude. She like, this is absolutely a hill Amberlynn will die on, is that she's not diabetic. So that's kind of what this video is her proving to the haters that she's not diabetic.
My results are in. This is my MacBook. We're zoomed in so you don't see.
I wonder if she had already looked at the results and then went back and then is filming this after the fact, like she knows the answer. I wonder how.
Anything personal. I'm signed into my little health portal. I'm gonna click test results. So we did a multitude of things here, but we're about to find out. Here's my hemoglobin A1C to determine am I diabetic or not. All right. No. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, 5.4 is my actual exact number that I always am every time I get this checked. So not even a pre-diabetic. So pre-diabetic would be 5.7 through 6.4. I do not have diabetes.
Okay, great. That's awesome. I'm glad that you don't have diabetes.
I'm not even pre-diabetic. That is always something that is just like in the back of my mind. I'm just always fearful that it's going to happen or is happening and I don't know about it. Just because you're fat does not mean you have diabetes, and just because you're skinny doesn't mean you won't get diabetes. But some of my blood work
I mean, technically that's true, but obviously there's strong correlations between each one for sure.
is a little off. Some things that are questionable that he said is something to really worry about right now. But there is something that I'm going to be going on medicine for. Turns out I have hypothyroidism. That's so hard to say for me. I don't know why. So people who have that is a leading cause of weight gain. Like, I've constantly been like, it's hard for me to lose weight because of my lipedema, my going through menopause at such an early age, the hysterectomy, like the list can just go on. And now, bam, smack in the face. I have the very thing that causes people to gain weight. Like,
it's interesting that she is maybe now just figuring this out, because like you know, she's says so much, that she goes to the doctor so much and she's done all these tests and all this stuff and she's, you know, completely healthy. And then she always brings that up. But then the one thing that, like, I feel like a lot of people know, oh, hypothyroidism, if you have that, it makes it harder to lose weight. And it makes it, you know, you gain weight easier. The fact that we are just figuring this out now is it's very interesting. But it's I think the thing that's most interesting to me is that she is like so mad about this. Like I would think that she would be almost excited to find out, hey, you know, there's this thing that's going on. I can get medication for this to hopefully help the situation. And then we can actually see some results, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case here at all, really.
It's just like, I feel like the world is like against me right now. And I know that could just be like my depression talking, but I just feel really, really overwhelmed and defeated. So having the hypothyroidism, God, I'm gonna hate saying that word. It causes like the hair thinning. So that's also like a double whammy. And it also causes like low moods and depression and exhaustion, brain fog, etc., etc. And I'm just like, wow, this is all also adding up for me. So on top of taking a medicine for that, I'm also gonna be taking a vitamin D because it was a little low. It definitely has gotten higher every single time I've gotten it checked. So that's good. But I just feel like, damn, like what next? Like I genuinely went from taking 0 medicine to now I'm going to be taking 3 medicines a day. And I just feel overwhelmed.
And I'm not trying to be negative, but that number, right? 3 medications, it will probably only go up if you don't take this seriously. Take it seriously. Like it's important. We're getting to a point where things are adding up. They're stacking up. We have to understand you cannot hear this information and think to yourself, oh, well, out of my control. There's nothing I can do. See, guys, told you. That cannot be the thought process. Because if that's the thought process, there is 0 chance you're going to push through when it gets difficult and you're going to do the things that you need to do. You have to understand, cool, these are things that are maybe working against me, if you want to put it that way, or things that I have to overcome. You have to think about, these are things that I can overcome. I'm sure there are plenty of people, I'm sure you can leave them in the comments, people that have hypothyroidism, that watch my videos, that have been able to lose weight. I looked at there was a comment on this video that said, I have hypothyroidism, I lost 200 pounds, right? It's not a death sentence. These are not things that you have it and there's nothing you can do, right? It's the same thing when people find out they have PCOS. Just because you have PCOS, that does not mean it is impossible now for you to lose weight and there's nothing you can do about it. Does it make it a little bit more difficult? Yes. Does it mean that it's impossible? No. You cannot think to yourself, this is now impossible for me because I have found this out. If you start to think that and you start to wallow in your sorrow, 0% chance you are going to be successful. So yes, understand this is something that I'm dealing with. You're taking medication to help with it. And the other thing that is important is understand the medication is not going to solve everything. The medication is just a medication. Just like with the GLP-1, you can't think you're going to take that and then all of your problems are going to go away. You take that and then you also put in the work. You have to put in the work. You have to. You can't continuously go to Denny's and go out to Bingo and eat all the food there, right? Obviously you can go to Bingo, but like be prepared. All of this stuff, yes, it's all important, but it's all background noise, man. Because the most important thing are things that you can control, and that's the food that you are eating. That is so unbelievably important, and you cannot let this stuff dictate and be like, well, I'm just going to eat whatever, because there's no point. You can't think that way.
Scared and frustrated. Like I hate medicine, but I know that I have to take it. My week's been rough, and these are just things that like I'm choosing to tell you guys because trust me, your girl has a whole other personal shit show of a life that she is currently going through right now. And I'm telling you, my mental health is so fucking bad, and I cannot wait for this medicine to just like do what it's supposed to do, work in my body, and just me continue to like make healthier choices and just do things that are right for me.
Yes, make the healthier choices. And like I'm sorry that you're going through this. It sucks. I don't wish like terrible mental health on anyone. I understand that. All I am trying to say is that you have to still do the things that you can. Do the things that are in your control. That is the most important thing that you can do, I think, in this moment. And I'm glad that you're taking the medications. I think that stuff is good for you to do.
So now let's talk about the goals that I had last week, which was literally just one: work on my relationship with food. And yes, I have still been doing that. So I have 2 goals this week.
I mean, what does that even mean, dude? Okay, I'm sorry, but like, what does that even mean? Okay.
One is I want to keep a food journal. This will help me be aware of things that I'm eating because, as you guys know, like, I'm not counting the calories or anything like that. I'm strictly just like making better choices. But I'm finding myself like later in the night being like, what have I ate today? Like, why do I feel hungry? Or why this, why that? If I have a food journal, I'll know exactly what I ate. Keeping a food journal is like one of the
There's plenty of apps that can do that for you as well.
most recommended things that like any dietitian or nutritionist will tell you to do. And my second goal is literally just take my medications as directed. And I want to document personally in my journal how I feel when necessary. So my last weigh-in from last week was 513.0, and this week I'm 516.0, and I'm telling you, not surprised. I have everything fighting against me. And right now, I am so overwhelmed with everything going on that I literally just cannot care over 3 pounds of a fluctuation. Genuinely can't. If it happens again next week, that's when I'll care. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute.
So, I mean, you know, we gained 3 pounds over the whatever, right? Like at this, it doesn't seem like this video didn't feel like the weight even mattered. She mentioned it for literally like 5 seconds at the end of the video. I think she just wanted this as a way to kind of share all of the other stuff that's going on. I think I've kind of said everything that I feel already. I think that you know, it sucks that, you know, she has all of these other diagnoses that are going on. It's not super surprising with everything that is going on, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing, and what I've said a bazillion times in this video, is to focus on what you can control. Focus on the things that you can do, and there still is stuff that you can do. The food that you put in your mouth is in your control, right? You work from home. You don't ever have to eat out. Ever. Ever. You don't have to. It is possible. You know how much I eat out? Very, very, very infrequently. Very infrequently. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I can never eat out. It's not allowed. No, I have foods that I enjoy that I can make at home, saves me money, and it's just so much easier to stick to a plan if you are you know what food is going in your body. It is possible. I'm not saying you can never eat out again, but like you consistently trying to be like, well, I'm going to only eat out 7 times this week. You got to stop that. You have to just be like, okay, I'm going to lock in. I'm not going to eat out this week. See if you can do it. See if it's possible for you. It might suck for a little bit, but like all of it is possible. And that's the most important thing. But again, that's just how I feel. I would love to know what you think down in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.